Joining us on the hotline right now is State Senator Roger Victory, Republican from Hudsonville, and he represents Ottawa County. He chairs the Appropriations Subcommittee on Agriculture and Rural Development and the Appropriations Subcommittee on General Government. He spent 6 years in the House before that, and he owns Victory Farms, a year-round specialty crop producer, as well as Victory Sales, a national produce distributor, and he previously owned a trucking company as well, and he's the executive board member for the Michigan Vegetable Council and former president of Ottawa County Farm Bureau. A lot of titles there, and pride of Davenport University on top of it. Good morning, Senator. How you doing?
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be on the air with you. And when I refer to these interesting times that we're experiencing here in Ottawa County, the state of Michigan, and our nation, and let us say the world.
Absolutely. Well, I want to get a different angle right off the bat before we start talking about everything else that's going on out there. I watch the news, I read everything, and the one thing I haven't seen hardly anything on is on farmers and COVID and our nation's food supply and, you know, what the worries are there. You're a farmer. You deal with all this. You're part of the Farm Bureau. And I just wanted to start it right off the bat on the farm thing. And how worried are you about COVID-19, not only just in Michigan, but nationwide, and not only the farmers, but the trucking industry that goes with that, the migrant farm workers who pick a lot of the produce crops and everything? I mean, not much has been mentioned about that.
No, but I do believe as we move forward, you'll be hearing a little bit more on that discussion level. So let me start at the beginning. Is our food system is secure. The logistic systems are secure. We saw that just in the last couple of weeks with our distribution center, with our supermarkets, our trucking industry, our warehouse industry. They were hit with a tsunami of needs, and they met that and are proceeding forward. As we speak right now, farmers are with social distancing. You are planting the corn. When you're in the tractor by yourself, you are practicing, those proper distancing components. When you're milking the cows and that component there, farmers, sometimes in the milking parlors, they are adapting to that. But as we can see, the system is working forward. Now, are there some concerns going forward? Yes, especially with our specialty crop producers here in Ottawa County, with the help of all our hardworking people that help harvest that, especially you take the blueberry industry in those areas. In fact, the MDAR just was on a conference call. They're trying to make sure that our housing for those good hardworking people and those issues can that be addressed. So as we go forward, yes, these many different layers are being addressed. But at the point in time and as in the future, our food system will be secure and reliable, and also kind of puts the importance of why we need to have domestic food production here. Why it's so important that we don't rely on foreign imports for our food, but we can aggressively and profitably produce that food here in the great United States and in the great state of Michigan.
State Senator Roger Victory out of Hudsonville joining us, represents our district. And I got to ask you, just over a month ago, the big concern, and it still is obviously, is along the shoreline of Lake Michigan and houses and, the rules and everything about, putting boulders down there and protecting the shoreline and what's going to happen with the tourist season and our roads and bridges and all the discussion going on with that. And within a month's time, that's still important stuff. But, I mean, it's amazing how fast not only the federal government, but local and state officials have flipped 180 degrees, and now everything's on the COVID-19. I just think that is amazing how everybody has flipped around on this and how the state has come together, industry changing product lines that they make and everything else. I'm just overall your take on the whole thing.
Yeah, it's been amazing how, again, government cannot solve all the issues. Government is, key, working alongside those who can solve some of the issues. Government is a tool to assist those components, and there are roles for government to lead. There's been examples of that, but a lot of times leadership can be demonstrated right among our healthcare providers. They're serving on the front lines right now, and as this goes forward, as that surge hits, that's going to be possibly here in Ottawa County. Looking like mid-April, some of the projections we use in the modeling. So keep those healthcare providers, our first responders in mind as they are, they are literally working on the front lines. Our manufacturing community, as they've been stepping up the plate, offering retrofitting their facilities. It might be converting to hand sanitizer, respirators, the mask components. And the biggest thing is and the role of our government here is can we coordinate all those activities, because the industries have been stepping up forward to it, which is it is amazing, like you indicated there too. It's people working together to solve this crisis that we have.
Senator Roger Victory of Hudsonville joining us right now. Yesterday, Governor Gretchen Whitmer declared a state of disaster in Michigan, asked the legislature to extend Michigan's existing state of emergency and new state of disaster by 70 days. And the Senate Majority Leader, Mike Shirkey, says that he supports approving the extension, but believes 70 days is too long. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I believe, I would say this thing, what I look at it, what our best predictions can be in 1 week is totally different than the following week. It is so fluid, and it's moving very quickly. I would advocate more toward a 30-day and then review and reset the bar on it. I think there's some reasons why the 70-day was developed, and it's probably not always for the whole purpose of it there. And again, there's always a rhyme and a reason behind some of these dates that are chosen. I'm just more of a 1 month at a time, a 3-week period. With 3 weeks, then you reconvene, you can adjust. May enhance or pull some away. But again, with this COVID-19, flexibility, I think is a key. We have learned some lessons from the past few weeks, and some of that lessons learned is keeping flexibility and make sure you don't put such a rigid format in place so you can address the needs as they occur in real time.
That's a great answer. Another question for you. Michigan Senate Majority Floor Leader, Senator Peter McGregor, saying on the news that the sales tax going down. Obviously, look at the gas. He says a lot of sales tax comes from the fuel we purchase. Fuel is as lowest point since 2006. Not will only revenues be less overall, but delays in tax filings and everything. And the deadline for the Michigan legislature to have a new budget to Governor Whitmer is July 1st. A lot less money coming in. That's going to be a big headache right there, isn't it?
Yes, as I get done with this call, I'll be going on another call looking at the budget process. It's, $1 billion decrease to the state revenues for, basically that's the, beginning baseline, and it could be more than that. And I think you use a great example of the gasoline situation there, is perfect example. Only 40% consumption, appears to be utilized, but also the value of that gasoline is down. So you got half the consumption and half the price.
And one final question.
Huge revenue.
Sorry, and one final question. I know you're busy, got to go, but for those who live along the lakeshore, all the lakeshore communities like Grand Haven, Spring Lake, what, if anything, is being done at this point with the high water? What can you tell us for those concerned about that? There
again, as we go forward, we also have been focusing on the high water issues. We've been actually still working with Eagle on some more enhanced permitting processes, more speed lining. Those dialogues are going forward. We have not dropped that. That situation is not going away. In fact, the fluidness of COVID-19 moves very quickly, but those high water level issues are a little more static, and by being static, it's high. And so we will continue to deal with both, by make sure we understand. One is the COVID-19 has been our first priority, but other issues going forward, we're not neglecting those either, and we are dealing with those in aggressive format. Well, ultimately, lives are at stake with COVID-19, and that's our first focus. High water is also right on the radar screen. Absolutely. Hey, great job. I appreciate you being forthright on my questions and answering everything. And anytime you want to come on up here, all you got to do is you got my number. Just text me. We'd love to have you on again with an update, okay? Will do. I think that's very critical, and we'll keep that moving right along. Appreciate the opportunity, and appreciate all the listeners out there, too. Thank you, Senator. We really appreciate it.